You rested all weekend. You slept in. You lay on the sofa. You scrolled your phone, watched a few hours of something, did, by any normal definition, nothing at all. 2 whole days of nothing. And on Monday morning, you woke up just as tired as you were on Friday, maybe more. And you couldn't understand it because you rested. You did everything rest is supposed to be. You stopped. You lay down. You switched off. So why does your body still feel like it's dragging a weight it never set down? Here's the answer, and it's going to reframe rest entirely. What you did on that sofa was not rest. It was stopping. And stopping is not the same thing as resting. Not even close. You can stop for 2 full days and give your body almost no real rest at all, which is exactly what happened, and exactly why Monday felt the way it did. Think about what you actually did. You collapsed onto the sofa and you reached for a screen. But a screen is not rest. A screen is input, a steady stream of images and sounds and information that your brain has to process every second, whether you feel it working or not. You lay still. Yeah. But your mind was working the whole time, taking in, reacting, absorbing. You piled more stimulation on top of a system that was already exhausted from stimulation. That's not emptying the cup. That's pouring into a cup that's already overflowing and wondering why it never drains. This is the mistake almost everyone makes, and it's an honest one. We think rest means the absence of activity, that if we just stop doing things, rest will happen on its own. But it doesn't. Real rest is not the absence of activity. It is something you have to actually do, and do correctly, and the nothing most of us reach for. The sofa, the scroll, the passive collapse is one of the least restful things you can offer a tired body. It looks like rest. It feels in the moment like relief, and it leaves you emptier than before. There's a deeper reason for this, one the Japanese have understood for a very long time, and we've almost entirely forgotten. Your tiredness is not one single thing. There are different kinds of tired, and each kind needs a completely different kind of rest. Give the wrong rest to the wrong tiredness, and you can lie down for hours and get no relief at all because you were treating the wrong exhaustion the whole time. Let me take you to Kanazawa, to a man named Ren. He's 74, a master of Shodo, Japanese calligraphy, and he has taught and practiced it for over 50 years. It's demanding work. Hours of concentration, precision, stillness, the whole mind and hand held taut. By any measure, it should leave him drained. And yet, at 74, Ren is one of the most genuinely rested people you could meet. Not because he stops more than you do. He works long hours most days. But because he understands something about rest that we were never taught. He knows that resting is not stopping. And he knows exactly which rest each kind of tiredness needs. Here's the thing nobody tells you about being tired. Tiredness is not one condition. It's several, and they feel almost the same from the inside. A heaviness, a depletion, a wish to lie down, which is exactly why we treat them all the same way and get it wrong. There is physical tiredness, the body worn out from labor, from being on your feet, from moving all day. There is mental tiredness, the mind worn out from thinking, deciding, concentrating, problem solving. There is sensory tiredness, the exhaustion that comes from too much input, too much noise and light and screen and information pouring in. And there is emotional tiredness, the depletion of a heart that's been carrying worry, tension, other people's needs. 4 different exhaustions, and each one drains a different reservoir. Now here is why the sofa fails you. When you collapse onto it and reach for your phone, what kind of rest are you actually giving yourself? You're lying still, so you're resting the body. But your body may not have been the tired part at all. And while you rest the body, the screen is pouring more input into a mind and a nervous system that we're already sensory exhausted. So you take the one part that maybe wasn't your problem, rest that, and simultaneously make your actual exhaustion worse. You end up more depleted than when you sat down. Not because rest doesn't work, but because you gave the wrong rest to the wrong tiredness. This is the whole key. And once you have it, everything about rest changes. The right rest is almost always the opposite of what tired you. If your tiredness is mental, a day of thinking, screens, decisions, then lying still and thinking some more or watching a screen gives your mind no relief at all. What rests a tired mind is moving the body. A walk, a simple physical task, something that pulls you out of your head and into your hands and legs. If your tiredness is physical, a body worn from labor, then more activity is the last thing it needs. It wants genuine stillness and warmth. And if your tiredness is sensory, the modern exhaustion, the one most of us are actually carrying, then it needs the one thing the sofa and screen can never give. Less. Silence. Emptiness. No input at all. The reason your weekend didn't work is almost certainly this. You were sensory tired and mentally tired, worn out by input and thinking. And you tried to rest it by adding more input and lying down. You treated it like physical tiredness when it was nothing of the kind. So, here is what you can do today before anything else. And it's the thing that makes all real rest possible. The next time you feel that heavy wish to collapse, stop and ask one question. What kind of tired am I? Is it my body? Am I physically worn out? Is it my mind? Have I been thinking and deciding all day? Or is it my senses? Have I been flooded with noise and screens and input? You cannot rest correctly until you know what you're resting. Name the tiredness first. The right rest follows from the answer. And it's usually the opposite of the sofa. Ren has spent 50 years learning to read his own tiredness precisely. And what he does about it is the oldest wisdom there is. Watch Ren finish a morning of calligraphy, and you'll see something that looks, at first, like the opposite of rest. He has spent 3 hours at the low table, brush in hand, spine straight, mind held taut in total concentration. Every stroke demanding precision. It is exhausting work, the particular exhaustion of a mind and a hand held at full attention for hours. And when he finishes, he does not lie down. He does not reach for anything to look at. He stands, he steps out into the garden, and he moves. He walks the paths slowly. He tends a plant. He lets his eyes rest on the far green of the hills. He gives his body the very thing his morning took away. Ask him why he doesn't just sit down and rest after all that work, and he'll tell you he is resting. That this is precisely how you rest a tired mind. Not by asking it to keep working in stillness, but by handing the effort over to the body and letting the mind go quiet, by walking away from the table. His calligraphy tires the mind and stills the body, so his rest moves the body and frees the mind. The rest is the mirror image of the work. What Ren practices has a name the Japanese have used for centuries: Kyusoku. True rest, deep rest, the real restoration of the self. And it rests on a principle we've completely lost. Rest is not the absence of effort. Rest is the counterpart to effort. It is whatever restores the specific part of you that was spent. And that is almost never simply doing nothing. Doing nothing is a single blunt tool, and it only fits one kind of tiredness. True rest is precise. It matches the rest to the exhaustion. So follow the principle all the way through, because it's the whole method. A mind tired from thinking is rested by moving the body, walking, a physical task, anything that gets you out of your head. A body tired from labor is rested by genuine stillness and warmth, lying down, a hot bath, real quiet, and a nervous system tired from stimulation. The modern exhaustion, the one you're most likely carrying right now, is rested only by its true opposite: silence, emptiness, an absence of input. not a quieter screen. No screen. The empty interval the Japanese call ma, a space with nothing in it, which is not wasted time, but the very thing that restores you. This is why Ren, at 74, working long demanding days, is more rested than a person who does nothing all weekend. He's not resting more. He's resting correctly, reading which part of him is spent, and giving that exact part its true opposite. His rest is active when he's mentally tired, and still when he's physically tired, and empty when he's overstimulated. And so every rest actually restores, instead of leaving him, as the sofa leaves you, somehow emptier than before. And notice the quiet freedom in this. You do not need more hours to rest. You need to stop wasting the rest you already take on the wrong kind of tiredness. The weekend was long enough. It was simply aimed at the wrong exhaustion. So what does the right rest look like for each kind of tired? 4 of them, and you can match one to yourself tonight. 4 kinds of tiredness, 4 kinds of rest. And the whole art is matching them correctly. For a tired mind, move the body. If your day was thinking, deciding, screens, problems, your mind is spent, but your body may be barely used. Lying down and scrolling gives the mind no relief. It just keeps working in a different chair. What rests a tired mind is handing the effort to the body. A slow walk, gardening, a simple physical task, tidying, cooking something with your hands. The moment your attention drops out of your head and into your moving body, the exhausted mind finally goes quiet. Not because you forced it, but because you stopped asking it to lead. For most people who work at desks and screens, this is the rest they need most and take least. For a tired body, real stillness and warmth. If your day was physical, on your feet, lifting, moving, then more activity is the last thing your body wants. And this is the one time genuine doing nothing is exactly right. Lie down properly. Take a hot bath. Let the body be warm and still and unburdened. This is the rest we default to for everything, when in truth it only fits this one kind of tiredness. But when it fits, nothing else will do. Give a worn body warmth and stillness, and it restores. For tired senses, silence and emptiness. This is the modern exhaustion, the one you're most likely carrying and least likely to rest correctly. If your day was flooded with noise, light, screens, information, input, then the cure is not a gentler input. It's none. Sit in silence. Look out a window at nothing in particular. Take the empty interval, the mia, with no phone, no sound, no content of any kind. It will feel at first almost unbearable. That's how starved of emptiness you are. But an overstimulated nervous system is restored only by the absence of stimulation, and 10 quiet, empty minutes will do more for it than 3 hours of the screen that exhausted it. For a tired heart, nature, or absorbing work, if what's worn out is emotional, a day of worry, of carrying others, of tension, then what restores it is either the natural world or a fully absorbing task for the hands, time among trees, by water, in a garden, or a simple absorbing job that takes your whole attention and gives the aching part of you somewhere else to be. Emotional tiredness rarely rests through thinking about it. It rests through nature and through the hands. A tired mind, a tired body, tired senses, a tired heart, and each one restored by its own true opposite. True rest is not doing nothing. It is giving the tired part of you exactly what it lacks. Ren has lived by this for 50 years, but there was a stretch when even he forgot it and rested himself straight into the ground. A few years ago, a hard season came, an illness in the family, worry that ran for months, and Ren grew more exhausted than he had ever been in his life, wrung out in every way at once. Mind tired, heart tired, body tired, senses frayed. And in that state, too depleted to think clearly, He did what all of us do. He collapsed. He stopped everything. He sat and lay and did nothing for days, waiting for the tiredness to lift. It didn't lift. It deepened. He rested and got no relief, and he began to fear that at his age, the exhaustion was simply permanent now. That this was what the end of energy felt like, and it would not come back. But it was not his age, and it was not permanent. He was doing exactly what you did on your weekend. He was giving a mind and a heart and overflooded senses the one rest that fits only a tired body: stillness, collapse, doing nothing. And it was the wrong medicine for almost everything that ailed him. The stillness his body might have wanted did nothing for his exhausted mind, which needed to move, or his frayed senses, which needed silence and emptiness. He wasn't giving them, or his tired heart, which needed the garden and the trees. What brought him back was remembering what he'd known for 50 years. He got up. When his mind churned, he walked. When the input had overwhelmed him, he sat in true silence, no distractions, the empty Ma. When his heart ached, he went among the trees. He stopped trying to rest by collapsing and started resting by giving each tired part of himself its own true opposite. And within a couple of weeks, the exhaustion that days of doing nothing had only deepened began at last to lift. That is what I want you to carry out of a calligrapher's studio in Kanazawa. Your body is tired. But tired is not one thing, and rest is not one thing. And the reason your rest keeps failing you is that you've been giving every kind of exhaustion the same blunt cure. Stop, lie down, reach for a screen. It doesn't work because it was never meant to fit most of what tires you. So before you rest, ask what kind of tired you are. If your mind is spent, move your body. Walk, work with your hands, get out of your head. If your body is worn, give it real stillness and warmth. If your senses are flooded, and they probably are, give them silence and emptiness, the empty interval with no input at all. And if your heart is tired, go to the trees or lose yourself in an absorbing task. Match the rest to the tiredness, and rest will finally do what it was always supposed to do: restore you. Ren is 74, works long demanding days, and is more rested than most people half his age. Not because he stops more, because when he rests the right thing. So tell me in the comments, what kind of tired are you tonight, and what rest will you actually give it? The walk for a tired mind, the stillness for a tired body, the silence for flooded senses, the trees for a tired heart. Name your tiredness, choose its true opposite, and write it here so we can hold you to it. If this gave you a gentler way to think about your own rest, subscribe and walk this path with us. Pine and patience, small habits, deep roots,